I think
They
so.
heard that.
Oh, well, it got to be me. Are we live? Cool. Hi. How you guys doing? Special requests for anything tonight? No? Okay. Let's get started on our backs. You might want to have a block close to you. You don't have to. Just if you got one, just have it handy. And make yourself comfortable. So for me, I like to bend my knees up and place the feet either together or feet apart and knees together. Extend the legs out. Whatever is comfortable for you, but as always, try to line yourself up on your back so that you're starting to think about the body being level. So like, many of us have one hip higher than the other, or a shoulder up higher than the other. So, just starting to notice those things and thinking about bringing your body into better alignment. Trace the shape of your spine. So start at your sacrum and just follow that line as you curve around the back of the hips. And then feel the gentle curve of the low back coming away from the floor. And then also feel the back of the neck gently coming away from the floor. So many of us have our shoulders forward and our heads forward and our chin forward. So you might want to just tuck the chin or lift the head and tuck the chin and put the head back down on the mat. You can place your hands up on your belly as you start to become more aware of your breath and start to feel the rise and the fall of your hands as you start breathing deeper. And while we all want to develop more strength, it seems, in our body, which is great, and while we do a lot of core engaging and that action of hugging in, hug your belly in, pull your belly in, which I say all the time, it's good, but at the same time, we don't want to have that constantly engaged, because then the muscles just get really, really stressed and then eventually really weak again. So when you inhale, relax your core muscles and let your belly just expand. So breathe into your belly, breathe into your low back, breathe into your sides. So just fill the whole body up with breath. And so that's how we stretch those core muscles, as we just relax and breathe in. And then as you exhale, you can start thinking about gently drawing your core muscles in towards your bones, towards your hips and your spine and your shoulders. And then you inhale and you expand. Big, deep breath all the way up to the top of the lungs. Exhale all the way to the bottom. You can move into Ujjayi breathing at any point, constricting the muscles at the back of your throat, which will create a sound, that oceanic sound. And it's a nice way of knowing what the quality of your breath is. And the quality that you're looking for is a smooth and steady breath. So a breath that's consistent in speed from the beginning to the end. And just remember that every time your mind wanders away in your practice, or you get stressed about anything in your practice, something feels really, really challenging to you, before you give up, come back to your breath and see if you can just stay where you are and relax enough and slow your breath down enough that you can stay there. But if you can't, come down, back off a little bit until you can. So bend, if your knees aren't bent, bend your knees now. Place your feet flat on your mat. I guess I got to do this with y'all a little bit tonight. So stretch your arms up over your head and try to press the tops of your hands and the forearms down into the floor behind you. Take a full breath into your lungs. And then as you exhale, gently draw your navel back towards your spine. Tuck your tail a little bit and then curl your hips up off of the mat. And stretch your hips up to the sky. Maybe sway the hips a little bit here from side to side. So just feeling a nice big stretch through the front of the body and the back muscles waking up. So take another inhale and then lift your heels and roll down from the top of your spine to the bottom. And then put your heels down. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, push into the heels. Curl your spine up off the mat. So we're rolling up and down through the spine, articulating. Take an inhale at the top and then lift your heels and roll back down to the bottom. And one more time, inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck and roll. Stretch the hips up to the sky and then lift the heels and roll down to the bottom. Take an inhale and then exhale, pick up your feet. Draw your knees towards your belly and then do a little sit up and reach your fingers towards your toes. Tuck the chin, curl in, and now grab onto your right knee and stretch out and straighten your left leg. And then change. Grab onto your left knee and stretch out through your right leg. And then change. And now do a few more on your own. Exhale as you hug the knee into the chest. You can always hold your hand behind your head if your neck's bothering you at all. So we're just warming up the core, legs, and then go ahead and lay your head back down and hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit here from side to side. Take your arms out to your sides wide, or you can cactus if you want. I want you to just start to circle the knees. So you've got the knees glued together and you're just circling the knees away from you and then back in towards the belly and away, kind of getting a little massage for the back of the hips too. Now, if you want to make this more challenging on your core, extend your legs out straighter as your legs go away from you. And then change the direction of your circle. And try to maintain that neutral shape of the spine. Good. And then bring your legs up in the air, bring your hands up in the air and rotate, circle at the wrists and at the ankles, point and flex. Grab behind your legs, and then we're going to rock all the way up eventually to a boat pose. But you can rock back and forth a few times if you want. When you come up to your boat pose, you can keep holding on behind your legs. You can let go of the legs, but maintain that openness here, shoulders, chest, long back, stay lifted out of the lower back especially. And now crossing your legs, bring your feet down. What I want you to do is I want you to rock forward slightly like you're going to bow forward. Put your hands down beside you or maybe your fingertips. And then on an exhale, try to lift your hips up off of the mat. And then bring your hips back down and come back into your boat pose. Keep breathing. And then cross your legs maybe the other way. Lean forward, push down into your hands. Exhale, lift the hips up. You might even be able to lift the feet up here as well. And then do that again. And this time just cross your legs and come forward, all the way forward to your hands and your knees. Good. Spread your fingers out really wide. And then tuck your toes and send your hips back to your heels for pranam or child's pose with your toes tucked. Reach out through your arms. Push down into your fingers, lift your elbows and your armpits up away from the mat. Really stretch the hips back as far as you can take them. Now walk your hands over to the left and then take your left hand and either grab onto your left heel or bring your hand behind your back and really reach and stretch to that right side. Reach back through your right hip. Reach it down towards the right corner of your mat. And then change. Walk your hands over to the right. So you've kind of got a C shape through your body. Push down through your left hand. Lift your elbow and your armpit up. Press the left hip down towards the left corner of the mat. And then come back to center. Come up to your hands and your knees. And then tuck your toes and lift both knees for your downward facing dog pose. And you can wag your hips a little bit, stretch the hips back. Remember, the heels do not need to come all the way down onto the mat just yet. So keep the knees bent as much as you need to be able to really reach and stretch and straighten your spine. Now on your inhale, come up high on your toes and roll forward. So round forward as you come towards a plank position, and then bend your knees and stretch all the way up and back again to your downward facing dog. So we're going to do that a couple of times. Inhale, high to the toes, come forward. And exhale, go back to down dog. And now do this on your own. And what I want you to ultimately feel like you're doing is you're drawing this big circle with your body, with your hips come up and over the top and then back down to the bottom. And then the next time you're in plank, stay in your plank. You can always bring your knees down and modify. Feel the strength in your legs. Push back through your heels, stretch forward through the crown of your head so you still have that tuck of the chin. Bring your forearms down to the mat. Hold here, breathe. Again, pull the chest forward, stretch. Very softly bring the knees down and come into Sphinx pose. Walk your elbows in front, your chest through your arms, stretch your legs back out of your hips. So point. You can keep your head up. You can also bring your head down. You can kind of roll your head from side to side if that feels good for the back of the neck. And then lower down to your belly. Tabletop. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Now you can push back through that heel and get that stretch through the calf. Okay, now lift your right leg up. Notice if you just lifted your right hip up too, so try to level the hips here. Stretch back through your leg, point the toes, lift your chest upward, pull it forward, and then reach your left arm forward. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, draw your elbow towards your knee underneath you. And then do that again. Inhale, reach and extend, lift. So you can take this into a deeper back bend here if you'd like. And then exhale, elbow towards the knee. Inhale. Exhale. This time reach, hold here. Bring your left hand down. Keep your right leg lifted. Now, chaturanga essentially is what we're doing here. So you're going to shift forward slightly and then lower your chest as low as you can without losing stability in the shoulders. So this is not what you want to do. You want to have that broadening through the upper back. You might be able to go down pretty low here and lift the leg higher, maybe pick up the left foot, point the knee and lift the toes. Breathe. And now push back up. Now you have a couple of options here. You can bring the right knee down and go back to down dog, or keep the right leg lifted and go back to a three-legged down dog. So if you went back to down dog, now lift your right leg up and now open up your hip. Stack your right hip on top of your left hip. Bend your knee, circle the foot, point and flex. Stretch out through the arms. Now level the hips again, and on an exhale, bring your knee towards your right elbow. It might touch, it might not. Reach back, inhale. Bring your knee towards your left elbow. And then reach back one more time. Exhale. This time, step through, and then your right foot. On your inhale, halfway lift. And on your exhale, fold. Do that again. Inhale, lift halfway up, straighten your spine, fill your lungs up. Exhale, fold, empty your lungs out. One more time. Exhale, fold. Now hold empty and rise to standing. So you can always roll up. You can come up with a straight back. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up over your head. And exhale, dive forward. Lift halfway, inhale. And fold. Sit back into chair pose. Arms overhead. Shoulders down away from the ears, weight back into the heels. On your inhale, rise to stand. And as you exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Plant your hands, step back into a plank position. From your knees or your toes, lower slowly all the way down to your belly. So stay on your belly. And your hands in line with your chest. Exhale. Come up a little bit higher. Don't lock the elbows forward. Take an inhale and then lower down slowly. And we'll do that. Come up a little higher. Feel the back strength. Brace your shoulders. We're going to push up again to the hands and the knees. And stretch the left leg back. Push back through the heel. And now lift the leg up and reach your right arm forward. Reach and stretch. Lift your chest up. Look up. Inhale. Exhale, elbow towards knee. Move with your own breath. Inhale. Reach. And extend. Exhale. Elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. This time, reach, hold, bring your hand down. Shift forward slightly, sunbird. So elbows in, touching your sides, shoulders strong as you go down. Breathe. Now push yourself back up. Remember, you can bring the knee down and go back to down dog, or go right back into your three-legged down dog. Open up your hips, so stack your left hip on top of your right. Stretch out through the arms. Good. Now inhale and reach your leg back behind you. As you exhale, bring your elbow towards your left arm. It doesn't have to touch. Reach back. Bring it towards your right. One more time. This time, slowly step up and step your right foot up to meet it. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers together, and maybe sway a little bit here. And then release your hands, halfway lift, forward fold. Come up to standing, strong legs, arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Bend to the left. Reach your left fingertips towards the ground. Reach your right arm over your ear. Pull your belly up and in. Reach your tailbone down towards the floor. Inhale, rise, back up, both arms up. Exhale, bend to the right. Try to keep your hips and your shoulders square forward. Reach through your right hand. Stretch through your left arm. Come up, inhale. Cactus your arms and take a nice back bend here. So really bring your elbows in close to your sides and puff up your chest. Try to touch the ceiling with your chest. Strong legs, thigh bones back. Inhale, reach up. Now sweep the arms back as you bend your knees and come into balancing chair pose now. So lift your heels up. Keep drawing your shoulders back. The chest stays open. You can stay here. You can lower. And you can also play with your crutches. Knees to the backs of the arms. And if you're jumping back, you're always jumping back to chaturanga. Or you're stepping back to plank. Okay, so if you're jumping about halfway down with shoulders stable. Inhale to your back bend. It might be a low cobra. You might come up higher, maybe an up dog. And then lead with your belly to push the hips up and back to your down dog. Take a few breaths. Feel your body rise and fall as you breathe out and in. Reach your right leg back. Exhale, step through between your hands. High lunge. So you feel the strength in your legs. Square the hips, lift the chest up to the sky, look up, and now take that deeper back bend. Puff up the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to your runner's lunge. Sweep the arms back. Again, shoulders back, chest open. Inhale, reach up. And bend back. Inhale, reach up. And sweep the arms back, runner's lunge. One more time, inhale. Bend back. Reach up. Runner's lunge. Stay here. Shift your weight further over your right leg and float your left leg up. Balance, warrior three. Step your feet together. Sit back into your chair, hands to your heart this time. Breathe. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist to the right and take the bind. So either take your elbow to the top of your thigh or across the left thigh. Press your hands together. Reach your sitting bones back. Reach the crown of your head forward. And now slowly start feeling your weight shift into your left leg. And then pick up your right foot. And now step it back. I'm hearing a lot of moans. You're all there. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. So if you want, reach your left arm up and your right arm down, or don't. Remember, see what feels best to you. Stay in your twist and just come up into a high twisted lunge. Keep breathing. Remember, keep breathing. Bring your left hand to the back of your right thigh. Stretch your right arm up to the sky. Exalted warrior. Really push through your back heel. Strengthen the back leg. And now inhale, just come back to that high twisted lunge. And exhale, bring your right hand down and side of your left foot now. Going a little deeper in your lunge, a little deeper into your twist. Good. If your hand's up in the air, energize your fingers. Stretch through the fingers too. If your hand's on your back, press your hand against your back and see if you can twist through your upper back a little bit more. Yeah, nice, Jay. Good. Where are we? Take one more inhale. And then plant the hands. Go back to plank. Roll over to your left side. Vashisthasana. Remember, you can put your left knee down, or the legs are straight. Maybe lift your top leg up, bring it into a tree pose. Do what feels best on your left shoulder right now. Good. Bring your foot and your right hand back down. Go back to down dog. Shorten your stance. So take a shorter down dog, walk your feet forward a little bit. Reach over with your left hand, take a hold of the outside of your right leg and twist. Reach and stretch through your right arm. Ujjayi breath. Slow down. Come back to down dog. Now you get to choose to stay in down dog or take a vinyasa or take a child's pose or hold a plank or anything that you'd like to do for the next couple of breaths. All right. From your down dog, reach your left leg back. Exhale, come up high on those back toes. Bring the knee in close to your body as you step through softly between the hands. Take a second and establish a strong foundation in your legs and in your hips before you come up into your high lunge. Feel the strength in the legs. Keep bending back a little bit deeper. Lift the chest up. Now bend the arms. And really engage the muscles in the back of the shoulders. The upper back, the middle back draws the shoulders down. Inhale, reach up. Runner's lunge. So just lean forward without collapsing into your left hip. Shoulders back, chest open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend back. Inhale, and now we just start kind of dancing with the breath, following the breath with the movement. One more time, inhale. Exhale to bend back. Inhale to reach up. Runner's lunge, this time stay here. Try not to use momentum, so slowly shift the weight forward. Hug that left glute. You might squeeze that left glute a little bit more as you lift that right leg up and find your balance in your warrior three. Step your feet together. Sit down into a chair with your hands at your heart. What's happening over here? At least you're laughing. All right, now take an inhale, and this time twist to the right. Okay, and take that bind. There you go. Breathe. Weight is back in the heels. And then slowly start to shift your weight over into your right leg. Pick up your left foot. I promise the second time usually goes a little bit better than the first. Twist. Rise up. Yeah, you're right. Bring your right hand to the back of your left thigh. Stretch your left arm up to the sky. So this is where you might feel like you're really engaging your legs a little bit more as you bend back. Challenge that balance a little bit more. Come back to the high lunge or twisted lunge. And now bring your left hand down inside of your right foot. Twist a little bit deeper. Feel the pulsation of the breath. And bring your right down. Step back to a plank first, and then slowly, mindfully roll over to your right side. Lift up and out of your shoulder. Explore any extra movement, any modifications. Lift your hips high. Breathe. Come back to plank. Down dog. And now reach over this time, grab onto your left leg with your right hand. So you're pulling on that leg a little bit to help bring you into slightly deeper twist. Downward facing dog. Look at your hands, lift your heels, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. When you get there, lift halfway and straighten your back. Fold. Come all the way up to standing. Arms overhead. And bring hands to heart. Close your eyes. Take a second. Just breathe. Okay. Put your hands on your hips. What is going on here? That probably did not look very good. Okay. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. Reach out and grab onto your knee. So with your hand still on your hip, you should be able to feel that the hips are still pretty level and steady. Now you can also reach out and grab onto your big toe and do this with a straight leg as well. As long as you still have good form here, you're still standing up really tall, your left thigh bone is back. And now take your leg over to the right and reach your arm out to the left. And you might look to the left as well. This is where a lot of times I have to think about engaging my left glute more. Now come back to center. Reach over with your left hand. Grab onto the outside of your leg and twist to the right. Keep moving. Try to unclench your toes, your jaw. Step back to warrior two. Good. On your inhale, straighten your left knee and turn your left toes in. And then turn your right toes out, warrior two. Do that again. Inhale, come back to center, turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, warrior two. Again, inhale. To the back, warrior two. Back to center and face forward again. Now stay here, flip your left palm up to the sky, reverse your warrior. Bring your right arm behind your back. You can grab on behind your head with your left hand. You might even clasp the hands together. And now straighten your left knee and bend back a little bit more. Breathe into that left side. Feel that long, deep stretch through the whole left side of your body. Reach the left arm up. Keep your right arm behind your back. And now hinge at your left hip and reach. Keep both legs straight. Reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out. And then put your hand down on your leg where it falls naturally. And now keep your arm behind your back. And I want you to push your right hand into your low back or your hip and let that guide you into a deeper twist. So lean back into your hand, twist around your own arm. And then if you want to put your right arm up, go for it. You'll probably feel like you're reaching back behind you more. Nice. Breathe. Now look out in front of your left foot. You might scoot that back foot in a little first. We're going to come into half moon. So bring your hand out in front of you and just lift that right leg back up. Hug your outer left hip in. This is the posture where I feel the most, where I can feel my outer left hip really hugging in towards the middle of my body as the leg floats up and stacks. Breathe. Maybe bend your right knee and try to find your foot. Good. Step back to warrior two. Woo. Straighten the leg, turn the toes in again, just like we did before, arms overhead. Now stay here and dive forward, wide-legged forward fold. And put your hands where you want them to go, and you've got a few breaths here to do whatever. You can lunge from side to side if that feels good. You can take a tripod headstand. You can just hold still. Make sure that you're not overstretching the hamstrings, you're not locking your knees back. It's this really fine line where the legs are totally straight, but the knees aren't locked. And what helps is to engage your quad muscles more. Pull your belly up and in towards your spine. Try to let the back of your neck be long, neck relaxed. Good, come up halfway. Now, just pivot. We're going to come all the way around, face the front of the mat again. You may scoot your left foot over. We're going to step the back foot in about halfway. And the toes are going to be turned out just slightly on that back foot. Put your right hand inside of your left foot. You might put it on a block. Put your left hand on your sacrum. Draw your left hip back and your right hip forward. Take an inhale and lift halfway, extend your spine, and now exhale and twist. So just like we did in our regular triangle pose, use that arm behind you to help you twist and twist and twist deeper into your revolved triangle pose now. Left hip back, right hip forward. Keep breathing. Your left arm might come up, it might not. Now look down in front of your left foot. Bend into your left knee. Bring your right hand forward. Bring your block forward if you're using it. And pick up your right leg again. So much balancing. Now let's twist again to the left. So now revolved half moon. Maybe bend your knee and try to find your foot. Keep breathing. Remember, it's not like you're going to get to a point where you don't fall anymore. It's about getting to the point where you fall more gracefully. So from here, step all the way to the back of your mat. Walk your feet out wide and bring your forearms down onto the mat for lizard. Now, you might not make it to the forearms tonight. That's okay. You stay on the hands. Maybe you grab a block or two or three. And we're going to keep that back knee lifted and maybe rock back and forth a few times here. Keep breathing. Good. Now, I want you to push into your forearms and lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Try to rip your mat in half with your elbows. Now take your left leg back to meet your right leg. If you're on your straight arms, come down to your forearms now. Breathe. We are going to roll over onto our left side on the forearm. So you might use your right hand to help give you a little support as you slowly roll over onto that left side. Bring your right foot out in front if that feels better. Lift your hips. Up to the sky. Keep breathing. Maybe you lift the top leg. Notice what's going on with your left shoulder. Nice. Breathe. Good. Bring your right forearm down. Walk your feet in for dolphin pose. Stay out of your head and stay in your body. Bend your knees more if you need to here. Again, try to rip your mat in half with your forearms. Lift your left leg up. Point the toes. Stretch through the leg. Breathe. Bring your left leg down, reach your right leg up. Bring your right leg down. If you want to keep doing that a few more times, go for it. Otherwise, come down and rest in a child's pose. Bring your hips back towards your heels and your knees together and your hands back by your feet. So we're in that pea pod shape. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your neck. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push up to your hands and your knees, and go back to downward facing dog pose. Stretch out through the arms. Lift your heels up, look up at your hands, step, walk, or float to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold. Come all the way up to standing. And bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. All right, bring your hands onto your hips again. This time I'm going to pick up my left knee and grab on. And just make sure that you're not shooting your thigh forward. You want your thigh bone to go back. And you can straighten out the leg too. Grab onto the big toe if you want. Then take that leg to the left. And reach your arm out to the right. Breathe out, breathe in. Come back to the middle. Reach over with your right hand now. Your left hand can stay on your sacrum as you twist. You can reach it back. Keep breathing. Step all the way back to warrior two pose. On your inhale, straighten your right knee, turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out, bend the knee, warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn the toes in, warrior two, facing forward. One more time. Forgot to move my arms. Warrior two, and then back to center and back to the front, warrior two. Now flip the palm, reverse your warrior, bring your arm behind your back. Grab on behind your head, maybe clasp the hands, and then straighten your right knee. Bend back deeper, stretch to the right side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Reach up through the left arm. Keep your left arm behind you and reach out, 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 out. And put your hand where you want it to go. And begin to twist back, 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 back in your triangle pose. And the left arm can stay there or it can go up. Breathe. Now, look out in front of your left foot. Scoot that back foot in probably first before you shift your weight into your right leg for your half moon. Hug your outer right hip in. Breathe. That back leg is super strong, like you're standing on it still. Flex the foot, push the heel. Step back. Warrior two. Straighten the knee, turn the toes in, and once again, dive forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Move around. Hold steady, whatever feels good to you. Breathe. Remember, you want your weight to come forward more towards your toes, your quads active, your belly pulled in. Lift up halfway. And then we'll spin around to face the front of the mat again. Step your back foot in halfway. Pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. Put your right hand on the back of your hips. Left hand on a block maybe. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine first, and then twist it to the right for a revolved triangle. So both legs are straight. We're pulling the right hip back, left hip forward. Twist around your arm, draw the shoulder back, look up, maybe reach your arm up. Breathe. Good, now look down in front of your right foot. Let's take this into a balance again. So reach your left hand forward, pick up your left leg. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, twist. Revolved half moon pose. Keep breathing. Good, re-extend the leg. Step all the way back. And now scoot your feet further and further and further apart so that you can make your way down onto the forearms. Lizard. Stay in your body. Now scoot, step it all the way back, landing in a forearm plank position. Roll over onto your right side this time for your side plank. Right shoulder back and down. Lift the hips. Breathe. And then come back to your both forearms and back into your dolphin one last time. And lift the right leg up. Push down into the arms. Bring your right leg down. Lift your left leg up. Push down into the arms. When you are ready, come down and rest in a child's pose. And now just press yourself up to your heels so you're sitting. And come up onto your knees. Separate your knees at least hip distance apart. Bring your hands into your back pockets. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Now roll the shoulders back and down and begin to bend backwards. And go nice and slow. So when you inhale, lift your chest up. And when you exhale, you might bend back a little deeper. So I want you to think thigh bones back, hips forward. And you might keep your hands on your hips, or you might go all the way back into a camel and grab your heels. Your call. Breathe. slowly, when you're ready, come up. Sit back on your heels, hands in your lap, close your eyes. Feel your heart beating. All right, we're going to do one more thing here. So we're going to take hero's pose. So you can certainly stay like this, but typically what you'll do is you'll keep your knees together and separate your feet and sit down in between your heels. You might put a block or a blanket underneath your hips here so you can sit up a little more comfortably. Be mindful of the knees. Sometimes it helps to push the toes down into the floor. So options here. Stay here. You can you can stay seated and grab onto the elbows. This is the position we'll take with the arms if we come down onto the backs as well. So then the next option would be to start walking back. Maybe you don't come all the way back. Maybe you just go a little bit. Sometimes when you're going back, we'll pinch the low back. So what you want to do is lift your pelvis up, tuck the tail a little bit, and then see if you can go back a little bit further from there. Maybe the crown of the head comes down. Maybe the whole back comes down onto the mat. And then you might grab your elbows overhead. I want you to think about breathing into the front of your hips. Another thing I always forget to mention this is you can do the same posture that I'm doing here on my back, one leg at a time. So one leg extended forward and the other one bent back, and then switch halfway through. And now slowly, carefully find your way back, up, sit back on your heels. And now sit off to the side and swing your legs around in front of you. Situate yourself so that your heels are all the way down at the end of your mat. And we're going to do a little bit of Pilates spinal rolls before we go all the way down onto the back. So reach your arms forward. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, roll down, curl down through your spine. Try to go one vertebra at a time. And now inhale on your back, stretch your arms over your head again. And as you exhale, try to use your core muscles, curl all the way back up to your seat. Take an inhale here. And now listen, exhale, just reach past your feet, but don't grab onto them. Just reach and reach and reach and reach and reach. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, roll down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, roll up. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, reach past your feet. One more time like that. Inhale, exhale, roll. Reach the arms overhead. Roll back up. All right, this time we're going to do it. Inhale, exhale, reach, and then grab onto your feet. Maybe grab onto your toes. And just enjoy yourself in this forward fold. Relax the head down. Remember, keep your knees soft. Inhale and come back up. And exhale and roll all the way down. Hug your knees up into your chest. Rock from side to side. Take a happy baby pose. Grab onto your feet. Maybe keep rocking here. And then find Shavasana. Just like we did in our first posture, take a little time to set yourself up so that your body is still well aligned, your heart is open, your shoulders are tucked in, the back of your neck is long, and then relax your whole entire body. As your mind wanders, simply bring it back to the breath, to the moment of being on your mat. Stillness. And now begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, hands and feet. Stretch your arms over your head. Bend your knees, roll over to your side. And you may keep your eyes closed, keep your neck relaxed, and press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your head in honor of yourself, in honor of your practice, and in honor of one another. Namaste.